cloud.
Okay, cool. Yeah, today's February 12th. This is working group survey meeting. Welcome, everybody. Please remember this meeting is being recorded and we are following the CNCF guidelines. We have a few agendas listed in the docs. Let me share the screen. Firstly, let's go through the like workstream updates. Currently, seems there's no updates yet.
No update on orchestration.
Okay.
Yeah, same for GLA. Yeah.
Same for DIA. Does anyone want to cover the auto scaling? Yet, the multi-host, same here. No updates for this week. And let's go through the sub-project updates. Kellen, do you like to update the extension projects?
Yeah. Basically the bullet points, right? We launched our V0.1 last week. Pretty exciting there. Glad that it's unlocking the gateway integrations, and we have some of those in progress now. Otherwise, we are just trying to fix our process. We're really erring towards frequent releases while we're still in this alpha stage, and we'll probably do a bigger review for the API when we're ready to upgrade to beta or V1. So that's our plan so far.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay. The next is the service catalog. Is Jason here?
Yep. Last week I opened up that serving catalog CLI tool. It explains kind of a methodology for having CLI tooling to interact with customize so that templates in the serving catalog can be combined together more dynamically than they currently exist. So if everyone can take a look and review this, if we have time, we can also walk through this in a little bit more detail.
Yeah, I think today's agenda is we don't have that many items. We can probably spend some time at the end to go through the CLI to like documentation. What do you think?
Great.
Okay, cool. Let's move forward.
And then the other plug is Edwin came out with the PR for DeepSeek R1 support using leader worker set. So this is the follow-up to the merged support for leader worker set multi-host templates, and a really good example of how to get another model support in there.
Great. So, by the way, so this PR focused on which service inference engine is the SGLang or VLM?
This would be VLLM.
Okay, rebased. Okay. Sounds good. The next, the inference perf tools, Ashok.
Yeah, for inference perf, we have some changes that are in progress. We are adding tests. Unit test framework is being added, so that's a PR there. We also have a load gen in progress. I think Sachin here is taking that up. And we agreed on the OpenAI API format for the clients to use with the VLLM client change in progress as well. Yeah, so we are seeing some changes go through.
Great.
Chen has been sick for the last few weeks, but she should be back soon and hopefully catch up soon and help out.
Yeah, makes sense. I think Shen attended the last one after missing it 2 weeks. She mentioned she'll get some contributors from FMPref to contribute changes here, which should be.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, hopefully their team can help review code related to Alpha and Perf. So yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the updates for all the sub projects. And next, let's go to the open topics. Yeah, I think you have the annual report draft already. You like to talk about it?
Yeah, I shared it to the mailing list, but I can also share it on Slack channel. Basically, we want to cover we covered some of the talks at conferences, and more to be added. I'll have to copy paste from like our meeting agenda to see what other talks are related. And also there are summary for each sub project. Not every project has put together update yet, but hopefully by the end of today, this draft will be in a better shape. And there are also like work stream updates as well. We try to summarize some of our activities in for each work stream. But feel free to add if you see anything missing. This is a relatively early draft, but we want to share it earlier so that we can gather feedback.
Cool. So the deadline is still end of week, right?
I think the draft is due on 14th.
14th.
We
Okay.
can, I believe, by 14th, we need to submit a PR to the Kubernetes community repo, and then we still have opportunities to edit.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we encourage community members to take a look at the doc and yeah, make any suggestions by the I think Thursday, sorry, Friday, this Friday. Yeah. Okay, cool. Next, I think you raised the like the Llama stack, and you like to talk about this part, the inference provider for VLM and Helm chart.
Yeah, I just want to quickly, briefly mention it because we've been working on Llama Stack with Meta team, and it's basically a project that tries to standardize some of the core building blocks and APIs, make sure like, those are unified and easy to extend for AI app development. So we hopefully you guys can also take a look if you see it interesting. So right now we have the VLM inference provider. So you can run VLM either remotely or locally in line with the Llama Stack server. And there's also a Helm chart for Kubernetes deployment. And that's our currently still a in progress PR, but we welcome any feedback there. Yeah, these are the two relevant things I see to this working group. So hopefully you guys can also provide some feedback. Has anyone tried this yet? Okay, maybe not. And yeah, maybe a relevant topic. I wasn't at the meeting, but I think one topic that was brought up was the production stack.
Right, the from the VLM. Yeah.
Yeah, did we have any like takeaways from that discussion?
Not yet. I actually I personally think with Junchen offline. Junchen is the professor from University of Chicago, and they built the LM cache and then moved to the production stack. And I know a few companies also like to contribute some control plans for VLM. And right, but current state, I think this is kind of yeah, from my personal like investigation, I noticed is the like in pretty early stage. It has some like the primary focus is still the application, the programmable router, which could be used for future like PD disaggregation routing. But traditional like model like routings, I think community members can still leverage gateway API inference extension. And there's some like proposed features like auto scaling or yeah, I think they also have their like customized version of the VLM to support their LM cache. Those are something I think still in progress, I think. Yeah, so overall, I think this is in early stage and yeah, so that's the I think the takeaway, yeah, from my
It's pretty early, and there's also potential overlap with the inference gateway project. I don't know if I saw a message was posted in the channel, right? But I don't know if there's any follow-up. See if they have any interest in contributing.
Not, I don't see any like for like updates there. Helen, do you like to leave some comments here?
Yeah, I can do that. Just out of curiosity, in your conversation, did they show any willingness to work with GIE? I'm just kind of wondering because ProdStack is built to work on Kubernetes, so just wondering if there was a reason why they chose not to work with Kubernetes proper, or what the thought process.
I think they were not aware of this effort, like the gateway extension effort. And I did also talk with their advisor from U Chicago, and he did show the interest, but there's no commitment to collaboration. So we definitely want to follow up on that conversation because the overlap is pretty obvious over there, especially on the routing side. Yeah, and yeah, we don't wanna. Yeah, let's see how this goes, right?
Right. My personal feeling is yeah, so this because there's two groups of people, right? Like I think people in Kubernetes communities work on the like AI challenges, and there's also like MLCs communities like LFAIs, right? They primarily work on the ML problems, but extend to the system level problems. So there's a like overlap area. People may choose different stacks. And coming back to the technology perspective, I think there's definitely potential overlap, but at this moment, I think the goal is a little bit different. The gateway API inference extension actually intercept the request, right? It can actually modify the headers and do some like routings, but it doesn't. There's not a lot of like application where like information. It probably fetch some like metrics from the inference engines, but not won't affect the entire like orchestration. But the like the PD routers, I think they're focused not only like this project, but also a project from CMU, the MLC serving. And they proposed the kind of the programmable like router. They want the router to take the role to do the to pick up the right like the prefill workers, etc. It also have some orchestration to shift the KV cache to decode worker later. So that's the kind of the application proxy comparing to the API extension way we designed, right? Yeah, so that's currently that's the difference I can notice. But in future, it probably like different projects has to cover everything to make the end-to-end use case work. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. That makes sense. Maybe this is just an alignment thing. I'm working on a roadmap to kind of plot out where we want to get the inference extension in GA, because I think we're thinking about a lot of those same things. The prefix caching, how we will work with disaggregated serving, that kind of thing. So I think that makes sense. Maybe framing alignment, because I just think working together makes more sense. We'll be faster, and honestly, if the VLM prod stack, if they just want to build their own EPP, that should work within the protocol just fine, and I think that's totally acceptable. But I think aligning is going to be faster for everybody. But I can follow up with them.
Cool. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. For the your comments, I think you mentioned there's a comment in the channel, right? We probably want to follow up, right?
Yeah, it's in the VRM Slack.
Oh, okay.
There's a production stack channel.
Mm-mm.
And Rob, I think you posted, right?
Yeah, I'm the one who posted that kind of initial discussion point, but I haven't gotten any follow-up
Mm-mm.
from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, maybe we should invite them to the working group call in the future.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I think we can do that. I think like Professor Junchen will put a lot of time next year. I mean this year actually, 2025 on this project. Yeah, probably have some collaboration areas. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think we don't have further topics. So Jason, do you like to talk about the CLI tools? We can go over the designs.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
great.
Do you like to share the screen, or you think I can just like do it?
We can keep it with you. It's a short
Okay.
talk.
Okay.
So, I think just as an overview to reintroduce some of the design premises of the serving catalog is that it's using customized overlays and bases and components. What that means is that it's abstracted across different dimensions like model server and provider. But then we also have things like the HPAs defined as components that can be applied via customization to one of these overlays. So what we end up seeing is that customized build command for one of the existing templates in the serving catalog. It's pretty static. You're only able to say customize build core deployment VLLM Gemma 2B if it's defined in the serving catalog. And this is from like the statically defined customized.yaml files. You can, of course, go in and adjust a customized.yaml file to add a different component. For example, if you wanted to use like different HPA metrics, you could modify the HPA patch YAML and then the customize YAML for this Gemma 2B and then rebuild it with customize. So the point of this CLI tool is to take it a little bit away from the statically defined customized structure into a CLI tool that as an input takes this template structure, but then applies dynamically the overrides that the user wants. So we see this CLI tool where you're able to call catalog generate, and then the next 4 parameters reference the serving catalog. You pick the kind, the model server, the model, and provider. That references the existing structure, but then you apply overrides. For example, you say, I want to apply component L4, which is to use the resource request structure for the L4 GPU, and you want to overwrite the container image. This tool makes it so that using kind of customize, it'll go in and make these adjustments for you. So, for example, you're able to do something like generate a template, or sorry, generate a YAML for every different version of the VLM public images, given the existing template. I loosely define the approach, but we end up using the existing customized Go libraries, and we're able to do all of these customized native commands and then produce the new customization YAML and then generate the manifest using the modified templates. So in the appendix, I show a couple of different examples. And a part of this exercise goes back to like the original pitch for the serving catalog, where we wanted to provide working examples and templates. But then we also wanted to identify what areas of these templates are things that people would commonly want to modify to produce different deployments or different manifests. So in the appendix here, we see a couple of different use cases of where I would want to use the CLI to maybe say, I want to generate a manifest for the same configuration, but using a different accelerator or using a different container image, or even applying arbitrary patching for fields that may be more specific to me. So this is a really loose overview of kind of like the UX story around why I want this tool to exist, and a little bit of info about how it can actually be done.
Is there a catalog list command?
There is not a catalog list command, but we can definitely add that.
Yeah, I'd imagine it can be useful to show different options before so that they know what to provide to catalog generate.
Yeah.
And are we gonna allow patching the arguments to container image?
As in adding container arguments?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, I don't know if it's covered exactly in an appendix, but we can have a container args value that uses customize append to append container arguments.
Yeah, sounds good.
This arbitrary customized patching is actually extremely useful because instead of having to statically write a customize YAML, you're able to just reference these JSON patches or strategic merge patches and identify these fields and like kind of replace them inline. So you could technically use just the arbitrary patching to add container arguments.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, if we have that solution, then we do not need like one additional argument just to handle the args.
Hi, Jason. I have a few questions. So besides the generate, do we want to cover some apply or other like sub commands in future? I'm thinking like I actually got a lot of like feedbacks from the end users. They don't like the YAML, right? It's not it's hard to correctly like write down all those like labels, annotations, and the detailed configurations. I think having a user-facing CLI tool will be super helpful. And the other I think like successful story would be something like Sky Pilot. I think they hide all the complexities and just provide a CLI to do the model like deployment or job submissions against any cloud resources. So I'm thinking like, is it possible for the catalog service to be grow like such a project? So not only generating the templates, but we can also manage some like kind of the workload lifetime. But I'm not that sure it's the right track to go just for discussion.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting idea. I think the serving catalog, from my point of view, should be in the business of templates and producing YAML. So like one of the nice things about this catalog generate is it's pipeable to kubectl apply, right? So maybe we see this more as like working in tandem with something like that, as opposed to like the catalog command being the life cycle management of these objects. But I'm interested to like explore that idea further and flush it out, because I do think from like a user perspective, this only achieves like half of the mission, right? Is like just producing this YAML, but not managing it.
Okay, sounds good. Any questions?
I have one question. Have you thought about creating a operator instead of a CLI? Because operator being you get all the config management aspects or benefits of it, and all this catalog could be some sort of predefined templates or presets or call it whatever, you know?
So yes, it has been explored, and let me just make sure that the breadcrumbs exist. So clicking through the background, we can make it to the original proposal for the design, which also has breadcrumbs back to kind of two different proposals that we had around this idea. And the operator was brought up, and I think a part of the feedback in the beginning was like we didn't have concrete understanding of the parameterization that was going to be necessary from users. And so we didn't want to take a big shot at defining that right away with like CRDs and an operator. I think that's definitely probably still in play in the future. But like the scoping of the serving catalog definitely moved towards like templating examples and YAML production.
I see. So the idea, so it's not off the table, it's just that we are figuring out what the patterns emerge from this and then probably look at creating an operator in the future. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I think yeah, we finished all the agenda items today. Does anyone have like other topics to discuss? Okay, if not, let's end the meeting today. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.